small window of time in between shooting. There wasn't a lot of downtime.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, I think maybe out of, you know, all the episodes, maybe I wasn't in 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
But the rest,
you were almost
I think
in
I was
most
in
of them.
Most of them.
Yeah.
And Tony and Raquel, they were in almost every frame of the thing, you know, because their love story was the key.
But I would say you and Raquel are the one who acted the most.
Yes,
because
we had the
Tony
most
was
conflict.
not there
Yeah, we
sometimes.
had the most conflict because he was the how do I say this? The conflict was between me and Raquel.
That's the most important part of the show, I would say.
But the separate was between me and Tony.
Yeah.
And that was a sibling rivalry that he had more than me and I wanted what he had.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take the entire fortune for myself through her
Yeah.
and to eliminate him so that I not only get the fortune but I get the girl.
Yeah.
And it was.
But you couldn't win the love.
No, and I wasn't interested in that.
I know.
It didn't. Max wasn't interested in the love. He was.
Yeah.
He was in it for the game. That was.
Yeah.
He was in
Yeah.
it. He was in it for what he could get.
So let's talk about the character, Max.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for guys, even for girls, it's more. I mean, the Tony is a very nice guy. Okay, fine, you know, lovable. Everybody would be interested in him.
Yes.
Your character was really very prominent, I would say, because it shows emotions, it shows action, it shows your, your commitment to do what you want. Your anger is
to get what I need and what I'm after.
And your anger was so contagious. I would say most people would be like imitating it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That his anger was contagious. That's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people get out of after watching an episode, get out and start acting the part of that how you express yourself.
Well, that's interesting because when you say that his anger was contagious, you know. A villain, and this is my feeling of it, a villain is born out of fear and sadness. That's where we come from as villains. And that fear and sadness evolves into rage and vengeance to get back at the people that scared him and the circumstances that made him sad. So all great villains have this huge hurt
inside them.
They have this huge amount of fear and hurt, and that's where their rage is born. And all fun villains to watch are guys and girls that are running off of that, you know, that fear and that sadness and that hurt. So I had to constantly be in that state of wide open, so that I didn't have to search for it.
That's what one of the most important question I would say is, how do you draw that character? Does it come from
It's
practice?
all personal. No, it's all personal.
Okay.
It's all personal.
Yeah.
It's you take whatever your circumstances are and you put them into the imaginary circumstances of the show and the character and the situation and the mise en scene. But
if we change it, let's say you act like Tony act like you, would that be possible?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely, but not in those conditions.
Okay.
Because Anthony and I talked about this a lot. We talked about where we came from, where our characters came from, and how we grew up, and where our feelings were born, and our relationship between each other, and how we feel about each other. And we came to some very interesting conclusions that we never shared with anybody. You know, we never talked about it. It was our private
conversation.
Yeah, it was our private knowledge that drove us. But there was a love there too, that you can see every once in a while. That every once in a while they would have a moment, and they would almost come together.
As a brother.
And Max would almost
brothers.
drop all that stuff because Tony would just hey man,
Yeah. You know.
on.
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and he was so loving, and I think that's part of Tony. That Tony had himself had a very caring, loving part of himself that came through, and I think that's why his character was so popular with so many with women, because
with
women felt that love from him.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, it would almost get through to Max. You know, Max would just start to. And
Yeah.
he would go,
Yeah.
no! You
Yeah.
know, and he'd shut it down, and you'd see, and that happened quite a bit. Not as much as I would have liked, but it happened quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you know, so no, we couldn't just flip flop, you know, if we wanted to, but you know.
No. My question is like the character sometimes needs the personality of the person.
Yes.
So at that particular age, you know, you're 30, whatever. If you have, let's say, you're a party animal or something, you know, you meet, you know, you're a single person, something like that, and another guy who is very decent, grow up in a very very routine
Yes.
kind of lifestyle,
Right.
might fit Tony's.
Right. And I think the casting.
It comes also from personality.
Yeah, and
your
I think it's
lifestyle.
it's what you give. You know, I mean, it's what you walk in the room with. It's how producers and directors and writers choose their actors for movies and television, is what you walk in the room with,
Yeah.
and how they feel being around you. And I think the most important thing for that is if you're going in for a bad guy, as I was for Max, no bad guy thinks he's a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Max didn't think he was a bad guy.
I know at that time. Yeah.
He thought he was a good guy.
Yeah.
He was just doing what was necessary to get what he wanted.
Yeah.
And if he
Yeah.
was doing things that were bad, that other people thought they were bad, he had a very good reason for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that seems sort of, you know, trite, but it's not.
Yeah.
No, you can't judge him as an actor. You can't judge the character you're playing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then you start to second guess your reactions and your instincts, and you can't do that.
You can't.
It's not fun to watch.
Gotcha.
You know, it's not
Yeah.
fun to watch.
It was really look natural. Really.
Well, it was, and we had no choice, you know, because everyone had to live within the structure of this very fast, very quick. I mean, we shot a lot of episodes really fast. I mean, that was
Yeah.
6 months of sometimes it's 60 episodes, sometimes it's 120 episodes,
Wow.
or depending on whether they show them as an hour or a half hour.
Half hour, yeah.
So, you know, that was just, it was a lot of work really quick. So we didn't
Yeah.
have time to sit around and decide,
Yeah,
you know, what we were doing. We all, I think, were cast because we walked in the room with a certain vibe and a certain vibrating at a certain frequency where the people in charge went, okay, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so, and that's so-and-so. And there was a very interesting dynamic between me and Tony and Raquel that seemed to work. You know, that we had enough, I think, enough affection for each other, and also enough confusion about each other, because we really didn't know each other.
Yeah.
But we felt like we did, but we really didn't. But enough confusion to keep us off center and guessing, like, well, what are they going to do in this?
Yeah,
Where are
yeah.
they coming from here?
Yeah.
And that's pretty integral when you're working fast and loose like that.
Yeah. So how was the reception of the show?
When we first finished,
Yeah, after it was, you know.
I guess it showed in one market here in San Diego as a test run. And before that happened, right before it was going to happen, we all had a press conference in San Diego, where we met some press and we did some interviews, and we all got up on the dais and got online and answered questions, and I think it did okay, but they decided not to run it in any other American markets. They decided to use it for European and worldwide distribution, which we all didn't really know what they were doing with the show because they never told us what they were doing.
Yeah.
And you got to understand also, in Mexico, it's very different. with actors down there than it is. You know, actors don't have any real power and control down there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they pretty much do as they're told, and this was very interesting. When we first got to Televisa, and they were taking us through the studio, we were watching other shows being taped, and we noticed they all had earpieces in. Did Raquel talk about this?
No.
Okay, this was mind-blowing. All the actors were wearing earpieces, and I said to one of the directors, I said, what's with the earpiece? He goes, oh, they're having their lines fed to them.
They don't remember?
I said,
Wow.
what did you just say? And he said, oh yeah, they all have to do that. And I said, why? He said, because we don't want to stop. It's about money. They want to keep going. So not only are the actors hearing their lines, they're hearing everyone else's lines.
Wow.
And I said, I can't do that. And they said, oh, you're going to have to. And I said, oh, no, I'm not. There's absolutely no way am I going to put an earpiece in my ear and listen to my words be read to me from somebody in the booth and then hear everyone else's lines on top of it. That's impossible. He goes, oh, it's the only way it's done down here.
Wow.
It was staggering. It was absolutely staggering. So I remember I think we all had a trial run
To see
if we could do it. And we all we got to do this, so because nobody wanted to do it. Nobody wanted to wear these earpieces.
Yeah.
And a lot of television shows here have teleprompters, what are called teleprompters, which
Wow,
are the dialogue is running on a screen.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't use them a lot anymore, but they used to use them a lot. And so if you forgot a line, you could adjust and you could look over and you could see your line, and then you could go back in and say it. And some people were really good at it. Some people could shifty-eyed get it and never learn their lines.
Yeah.
I was never good at it. I was never good at it. So we all decided that we had to really nail it the first couple of shows, so they would see that we weren't going to cost the production money by stopping and going, line.
Gotcha.
And we all just crushed it, I think. So they went, okay, you guys
You
don't
need it.
We never used them.
Yeah.
We never used them.
Yeah. That's really professional.
Oh,
Yeah, that was great.
That was scary.
Yeah. So I would say after that they start to distribute it globally to
Right, and we didn't know.
That's where it came to Ethiopia.
That's right.
Yeah.
In
so
96, right?
96.
96.
Yes.
So that was a year after we did it. The next year.
Yeah. 96.
Because we finished in 95. And
Yes, 96 exactly. I was
and after
I was
San
a
Diego,
freshman student.
Yeah, where were you?
I was a freshman student. I was in university. I was
Great.
19 years old, 18.
Oh, such a baby, such a baby.
Yeah.
After San Diego, we didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
They didn't tell us anything.
Wow, it was the #1 show in Ethiopia. Literally, people miss appointments, things to watch that show. When they end it, they have that suspense next week. That kind of thing kept people really tight for week after week.
I think it's great.
It's really now people hear about you, hear about Raquel. They really want to meet you in person. One of the things that we are trying to do is send you to Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So if there is a way to get you there, I would say the national TV was the one that shows it.
Right.
The #1 TV channel in Ethiopia. They would be interested.
I'm sure we would. I know Raquel would love to go. I know I would love to go. And I actually spoke to the ambassador down there. I didn't speak. I emailed with the ambassador in Ethiopia, the American ambassador in Ethiopia.
Okay. The current one?
I don't know. It was 5 years ago.
Oh.
So
They keep changing.
yeah, I'm sure. And I got a response that was, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like this. It was, yeah, we're having some problems down here right now, and the last thing we're going to spend money on is to bring actors to Ethiopia. Oh. Thanks a lot. And I was like, and I wrote him back and I said, of course you're not going to do that, because that actually might make people happy. Thank you.
That was
it.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was upsetting.
I know.
Because that was after the thing with the ambassador, I was upset because I had just learned through Facebook that there was this this unbelievable, reaction to Acapulco Bay, and over the last 10, 15 years or whatever it was when I found it. And I was like, I thought to myself, well, we got to get down there.
Yeah.
And I talked to a couple of people about getting down there and being sponsored to go down through a beer company.
Yeah.
And a couple other people, and they were like, yeah, we're going to do it. This was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And finally I gave up because it was so difficult
Yeah.
to communicate and to try to schedule it and
go all that.
well, it was also we didn't know, we also didn't. I didn't want to go down there unless I could do something. I go through the university maybe in Ethiopia and maybe teach a seminar and teach a class in acting for 6 weeks or something, or do something where I could actually interact with people and have some fun and have there be some publicity so that people know that we're there. That we're coming. And I just gave up. I didn't know how to do that.
This is a good opportunity. Our website we're going to stream this on our website, on our YouTube channel.
Well, we'll talk about that.
So no, I would say a lot of audience, a lot of people would see it, and they will respond. They personally they can contact you. You can mention your Facebook page, Instagram.
Well, again,
page.
I would love to go. I mean, I would love to go there. It would be a great trip and an honor to meet everybody.
Yeah, great. So if you have anything to say to Ethiopian audience,
love you guys. Thank you for watching all these years. I can't believe it's been almost 25 years. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But hopefully I'll meet you soon. And God bless, and I love you all.
All right. That's it.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.